Hello everyone, my name is Ranjit Singh. I am USYCA President. I will take this opportunity to share with you some information about NYCL 2022. Alright, so let's start off with some history. The event started in 2014 with 18 teams in Dallas, and last year in Maryland we had 92 teams. So as you can see, the event has grown exponentially, and it's time that we add zonal structure. So not everybody has to travel to main event. Only the top teams from respective zones have to travel, and that's what we're going to do next year. So what we have done is that we have taken USA Cricket's zonal map, and we have basically picked a center in each zone where we'll be hosting our tournament. You have the choice to play for any zone you want, even though the zonal map represents a geographical location. You don't have any boundaries as such. You can pick whichever is nearest to you or which one you prefer. What we're going to do is that we'll have a subcommittee for every zone who will run the event, and each zonal event is going to be an independent event, which means uh, there will be semifinals and finals for each zonal event, and based on number of teams that are participating in that zone. So, so let's say there are 16 teams participating in each zone. So four teams out of 16 will go to the nationals. And let's say in West only have like three teams. In that case, only one team will go to the nationals. So a number of teams from respective zone that go to national is based on the amount of participation that we get in that zone. One more thing that's going to happen is that uh, once the team is picked to go to national, they get invited to nationals. They have opportunity to revise their roster and select the players from the teams in the zone who did not qualify to nationals. So when you go to nationals from a zone, your team represents your zone, and you have opportunity to revise the composition, with the best players. Because if your team wins at national level, then basically your zone wins. So basically, we'll put some clarity on how this process is going to work from zonals to nationals. At nationals, we want to see quality tournament. We want to see the best players getting there, and we're just putting structure to this. And of course, this is a big phase of evolution. I mean, for NYCL, from a single event, now we are we've added a layer, and based on how this year goes, we're always learning, we're always evolving, we're always looking for opportunities uh, to to make this even better, to make this even more useful. NYCL was conceptualized in 2013 on the fact that we want to create a platform where every young player has an opportunity to showcase their talent without any fear or anxiety or any politics. And we want to continue that. We want to continue being a platform where a player feels that he has the opportunity, player feels that he's treated right. And one thing about NYCL is that we are there for you. We never ignore you. I mean, if you contact any of us, we'll respond back. I mean, you may not like our answers, but we never ignore our members. So being a volunteer-driven organization, we do the best we can. Of course, we have our own limitations in terms of resources and funding and everything else, but this is community-driven league. You drive it, and it is for you. So we hope to continue this, and we hope to find a new set of leaders to take this forward and keep this going, because it's an initiative that has made positive impact in lives of many people, many young kids, and it has potential to continue do that in future. And we are lucky to have a lot of volunteers, a lot of people all across the country who believe in what we do, and NYCL has impacted lives of many people all across the country. NYCL has held in pretty much every corner of US in last 8 years, And what we are trying to do in 2022, only NYCL can do, because we have made that connection, we have made that partnerships with uh, with youth programs, with leagues, all across the country, and what we are trying to pull off next year uh, is something amazing. I think so. The zonal tournaments are planned to be completed in June, and the nationals will be held in July. In East region, we have Vijesh, Hassan, and Ganisham, who have volunteered to lead the nationals. A few quick updates on nationals. So the top teams from zonals, based on number of teams that have participated, will get invited to the nationals. And the word invited is used because they don't have to come to nationals if they're not able to bring the entire team. Let's say a team from California or Florida or Houston, that team does not have enough players to come to East Coast for the nationals, then they don't have to. That's why every zonal tournament is an independent event. Um, there's a semi-finals, there's finals, there's champions, there's runner-up, there's MVP, there's all. So every zonal event has a full closure. So the team that gets invited for nationals has the opportunity to invite players from lower ranked teams who are not going to go to nationals if they are short of players, or if they want to balance their team, for whatever reasons. So the entire pool is available to them, and they have the performances that they can use to invite the players. Um, let's say after all the efforts, still they cannot get 11 players. Um, then they will also have opportunity to invite players from other zones to see if they can make it. If they still can make it, then let's say they only have 4 to 5 players who are willing to go to nationals, or let's say they're just 2 players. Then those players can be made available to other zonal teams to recruit them into their team. So the process is made very simple. As I said, we want the best players to come to nationals, and if you can make it, you should make it. If you cannot make it, we understand. We understand that we are not able to provide you funding or absorb your cost, and we hope that at some point in future we get some support from leading organizations that can those funds can be used to offset some of the costs that players have to bear to travel to these tournaments. So we absolutely understand if somebody cannot make it because of the cost associated with uh, with the travel and everything, and that's why we are making this. We're trying to make this process as easier for team managers as we can. Is basically the entire event is performance driven. Uh, at zonals, we are giving opportunity to every player to basically showcase their talent. And in 2022, we only have 4 games in zonals. Don't be surprised if you come back in 2023 with 8 games and 16 games in 24, and by 25 we may have a full domestic structure in each zone. So there is a plan. We just don't want to uh, overcommit in the first year, but uh, I think the country desperately needs a domestic structure for a kid to continue playing the game. There has to be value for being part of the team, part of the state, part of the zone, part of region, and part of the national team. Right now, the only value that youth cricket holds is being part of the national team. So what happens is that the kids who are not in the national team, they automatically choose to drop out. Um, and we want to change that. That can only change if there's a domestic structure, and the player gets the same pride to play for his club that he gets to play for a national team. Um, and um, and hopefully we can build that culture, because if you don't build that culture, the cricket is like a broken pot. If you keep adding new players, keep adding water, but it's broken, so the water keeps draining, which means we add 10 kids every year in a program, and there are 15 kids who drop out. You never, your numbers never really grow up. So retention of the players is important, and keeping them motivated, giving them a reason to go and tell their friends to come and play cricket rather than being frustrated and driving themselves and others away. So lot has to be done, and um, in our limited capacity, whatever we can do to serve this great sport of cricket in the country, we'll do it. So let's come to the format. So of course, there's a huge demand for longer formats. In past, NYCL has been 2020 format. In 2019, in Maryland, we tried to have longer format. We did had a few games. There were 30 overs and 40 overs, but not many because of the weather and other challenges. But uh, next year, because we are doing zonals, and the commute and everything is less, at least for the zonals. So we're very confident that we're going to have all these games completed without truncation. The good thing about zonals is that since everybody is in driving range, let's say we know a week before or 5 days before that whether on the game day is going to be bad, we would work on rescheduling, we'd work on altering the plan. So um, I think the main thing at big tournaments like national tournaments, we're not able to change the plans because people have traveled from all over the country. So, but for the zonal tournaments, I think we'll be able to do that. If we see a bad weather or a challenge, we'll be able to alter the plans, and then basically make it works where your kid actually gets opportunity to play. He actually gets to play all those overs, and all these games actually happen. So I mean, um, if you have been part of NYCL, we know that we always strive to give more cricket, and the the focus is same this year too. I mean, in future too. We want to give your kids more cricket. Um, so hopefully, this 25 hours and for U11 and 30 hours for U13, and then 40 hours for rest of the levels will give enough opportunity for everyone to showcase what they can do. Age cutoff is same as last year basically, but what we have added this year is that we have added a 3 years lower age cutoff. So basically, let's say if you are playing U19, then you have to be at least 60, to play U19. So those are the things that we are adding, uh, you know, just to bring more competitiveness because we have seen in past that teams have brought in players who are really young, who are not ready to compete, and that has taken away the competition a little bit. So so we have added lower age cutoff effective 2022. That's only change. All right, so let's recap. Let's go through like some main highlights of this event. So first one, you can register to play at any zonal center you want. So let's say um, your friends are in some different zone, you want to play with them, or you have some issues playing in the current zone, whatever reasons, you can choose to play for any zone as you want. We are committing minimum 4 games to every team at zonals. It could be more, it could be more games if we can. And again, it depends on the volunteer support which we get and ground support which we get. So, but minimum 4 games are committed for every event, for every level. Um, the main objective is to cut down the travel expenses, because what I have seen is that um, the main challenge with these youth tournaments is that the parents have to spend so much time, and money both, traveling to the events, and the zonal actually meets that objective. Basically, when you go to an event, you get 3 to 4 games only. Sometimes it's rain out and you can only get 2 matches. I think NYCL is the only organization that has given 4 matches to every team every year, and we never had a full washout game. We had some reduced over games, but we always give you full matches. Nobody strives to give that as much as we do, and We have had weather challenges in the past, but we have found ways to uh, give give that cricket opportunity to the players. Also, we're going to make zonal committees for every zone, and if you would like to support, please let us know. We of course need a lot of help, and the more help we have, the better. So if you're somebody who's inspired to work with us and join hands, um, please get in touch with us. We'll have champions and runner-up trophies, and of course the top teams will get invited to the nationals. What about nationals? So nationals, basically we are bringing the best players from the country to the nationals. So one thing you can expect at national is uh, a clear competition. The good thing about this national tournament is that this national team is not a bunch of players that I picked, one from this state, one from that state, three from this academy, four from there, and put them together, found a coach from X place and manager from Z place, and they are in nationals. No, this is a team that played together at zonals, and they have added to their roster the competent players from other teams who did not make it to the nationals, but they have seen them compete. So they know the coach and the manager knows whom they are picking. So when these teams come to nationals, they are ready. They are ready to give you a clear competition. Again, at nationals, we'll make the format in a way that every team gets at least four matches. We'll have awards and recognitions. This is a very important slide. This gives the timelines of how this is going to shape up. So on 5th January, we'll open team registrations, where we'll ask teams to register and players to also sign up. And then once we know how many teams, how many players, what is level of interest in which zone, we will make a proposed schedule on 5th Feb 2022. We'll publish that, right? Now that you know what the proposed schedule is, we're going to ask everybody to now formally register, pay your tournament dues and formally commit that if this proposed schedule stays as it is, you are willing to play in the tournament. Now, from based on how many people formally register, let's say somebody drops, some team drops, so final schedule will be published again on 1st March 2022. So let's say there's some changes in the final schedule and somebody doesn't want to do it, right? We may go another iteration, and we may let that team drop and refund them their dues, and basically lock the entire roster, entire schedule, everything by March 15th. So around March 15th, you can be sure that you know exactly where you are playing, you know when you are playing, and you know who you're playing. So uh, then we have about 1.5 months to basically uh, do age verifications and other things, and get the rosters finalized, and the zonal championship will be planned between the 1st June and 20th June. So that's when basically you can expect the games to happen in your zone. Um, and the national championship, so you'll have about, let's say your team wins and goes to national. You have about 12, 13 days to basically plan the trip or make roster changes and things like that for the nationals. So, uh, and I said we will have exact dates for everything finalized by March 15th. So that's basically the entire timeline of how things will happen. Last but not least, there are so many tournaments across the country. Why play in NYCL? Why I think you should play NYCL is NYCL is driven by volunteers like you. Uh, it's non-profit. It's managed by motivated people who just want to see youth cricket grow with no personal agenda. Um, and that is why it has been the largest youth event in USA since it started. When NYCL started in 2013, it was the only tournament where a club can take part. And whatever you see around US, all tournaments, they all have been modeled around NYCL. Um, we have been role model, we have been pioneer, and we have we have vision. We always think ahead, we always think forward, and we need your support to continue doing that. uh, Transparent and accountable. So these are the two main things why I think people have continued their support to our work, because we have been very transparent in everything, and then we have taken accountability. If we have made mistakes, which we have a few times, we have apologized for that. We have taken ownerships and we have learned from it, and we have done things right. So we look forward to continue, to hope that you participate in this tournament and you give us opportunity to serve you. And I look forward to meeting you. Once again, thank you so much. That's our website. That's where um, you'll find a lot of information and progress. So if you have not bookmarked this site, please do. If you're a team manager and you're not part of our managers group, please contact us so we can add you to the managers group. If you have any questions or any comments, concerns, you can email them to me at usyouthcricket@gmail.com, and we will answer you back. Um, Once again, thank you so much, and I'm looking forward to outstanding NYCL 2022. Thank you so much.